evening, folks. This is Ryan of the Grumpy Guy Show bringing you episode 69. Nice. This ship is out of control. Recorded on October 25th, 2022, we say see ya to Jitsi and Ye. Stay tuned.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
And you'll notice, if you're watching the video, that Ryan's got a funky little background. I've got a funky face. And the layout is totally different than what it was before. And that's because when we started up, well, you know what? Let's just jump right in to our first topic because we're going to complain.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Explaining everything to you and you know, telling you that, hey, this is going to be a short episode because it really, truly might be this week. But,
no, it won't.
Well, we'll see.
We have 3 topics.
Yeah, 3 topics. 2 of which I threw on there today.
Mm-hmm.
Both of which were while we were sitting here trying to get things working.
Yep.
So let's start out with our first topic. So as I was saying, you know, I've got a funky looking face here, and Ryan's got a funky background, and it's all because we were getting prepared to start the show, and our faithful meeting software that we've been using for a very long time, since we started doing the video, Jitsi.
I thought it was since I actually went to college.
It's quite possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible. I honestly don't know.
Yep.
I'd have to look through the credits, but not a big deal. At any rate, so Jitsi has been our faithful meeting software that we've used because, you know, big advantage is it doesn't require anything as far as special software. People can use it right from the web without an issue. And, you know, it just worked. And it's free. Well, tonight it wasn't working. Didn't matter what we did. Didn't matter what we did. We had either, we either had one or both of us with hardly any signal, even though
we're in the same place.
Well, that's not the issue. It still has to go out to their server, and I understand that. But the whole thing is, you know, we're sitting here. We have, at least I know for sure, my laptop has a solid connection to the router, because literally there's a wall between the router and my laptop in about 2 feet. So, you know, I mean, I'm truly, my laptop is truly less than 10 feet from the Wi-Fi router. I know I've got a solid signal, but Jitsi kept telling us, no, and it kept dropping our video and everything. So, yeah, quick thinking, you know, I decided we needed to try something else. And we haven't tried Google Meet since they released it, I guess is what you'd call it. Basically, for anybody who doesn't know, Google Meet is a replacement for Hangouts. It all goes back to Google's crap where they just can't stay focused. They're kind of, it's really sad. They're kind of they're like a toddler. They have no attention span. You know, you really can't. Hey,
it's not just toddlers.
Yeah.
People in general people's attention spans have been slowly getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and
there's a reason why NASCAR's ratings have been falling faster than other types of motorsports, because their races are longer.
Yeah, they're longer, and you know, there's starting to be a little bit of creeping in of whiners. You know, you look at the big one, Kevin Harvick. Oh, I didn't win the race, so somebody screwed me over. You know, that's the kind of whining that you see.
Crappy ass parts,
yeah,
as he would say.
that's the kind of whining that you see in other sports. Like basketball. One of the reasons I stopped watching basketball. Oh, I didn't make the shot. That means I got fouled. Why didn't you call the foul, ref? Well, you didn't get touched. You just suck. It's a big reason as to why I stopped watching sports.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to see a little bit of that, especially, I've noticed it more this year as as the races are ending, or these old timers, they screw up and hit the wall or something like that. Their focus is on blaming somebody else or something else instead of saying, you know what? I'm old, my reaction times suck, and this is a new vehicle that I'm not used to.
It's a new vehicle for everybody, though.
Yeah. And, but you get somebody like Kevin Harvick who, I'm a former champion and I've been doing this forever. And they don't think along those lines. They think that they're perfect and, it should be that way. And, it's just like, whatever.
Some of these guys, like Harvick, have a huge ego problem. Yeah.
And that's it. The huge ego leads to whining when something doesn't go their way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't look at it any other way. But,
or like Kyle Busch when he when he lightly taps the wall on lap 1 and screams, "Oh, it's killed!" and then he goes on to finish top 5.
Yeah. Yeah. But at any rate, so now that we've been sidetracked,
reason why I like Chase Elliott is because he's basically the opposite of Kevin Harvick. He's always blaming himself for everything. That's the worst part about him, honestly, is that he's too hard on himself.
I find it hilarious because before we started, while we were playing around trying to get this working, we were talking about him bringing NASCAR in, and he said, no, and now he's not stopping.
Well, the topic that you mentioned as a possibility, I think it's not. We would have had better timing last week.
Well, you should have brought it last week.
Yeah, probably.
And what he's referring to, folks, is the incident with Bubba Wallace and
Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson, yeah. Where it appeared...
Where Christopher Bell was an innocent victim.
Yeah. But, ultimately...
Another reason why I didn't want to talk about it, because you were posting it on Facebook, and Facebook is full of very, let's just say, racist people who don't like Bubba. And will come after us for saying stuff about Bubba. No matter what we say.
You know what? I'm
And I just don't want to have to deal with those annoying people.
Well,
I already deal with them enough on Twitter.
They can be as annoying as they want. The fact of the matter is, we're talking about Bubba Wallace the person, not Bubba Wallace his race. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple. That's what we're talking about.
We're not even really talking about him as a person. We're talking about him more as a race car driver.
Yeah, we're talking about his actions on the track. So
and after what he did on the track.
Yeah, but that's also part of it.
Which was literally just digging his own grave.
Yeah, maybe not.
Specifically, going up to fight Larson was what made me think, oh, he wants to be suspended. He's asking for a suspension.
I don't know. I mean...
And NASCAR claims that the fight had nothing to do with his suspension.
Well, they've said before...
Where I call bullshit.
They've said before that they're going to let these guys kind of let their tempers out to a point. In that situation, I think they would have let it go even farther because neither of them had helmets on. Neither of them were holding helmets, so it's not like they were going to swing helmets and hit each other with them or something like that.
Yep.
It would have been just a fist fight. But
I'm glad that they ended up doing it in the infield and not on pit road, because the pit crews would have ruined the whole fight, like they always do.
Yeah. But at any rate, so a little more on the subject because we got sidetracked again.
He hooked him.
Yeah, without seeing the in-car footage, you don't really know everything. But
there is in-car footage that I saw, and there's no way that the steering could have broke.
no, okay. And
He legitimately went down and hooked him in the right rear, which
that's
should be absolutely intolerable.
yeah, I would agree with that. But you know, the whole thing was
It's the same thing with an incident with Kyle Busch in a truck race back against Ron Hornaday. Except Busch's thing was more egregious, in my opinion, because Busch did it under caution
yeah.
in a truck race that he had no right to be in, and Hornaday was a championship contender.
Well, I've told you before, the whole problem I have with the way things are set up is the Cup Series is supposed to be the top series.
It is.
Plain and simple. You're there.
The Truck Series and Xfinity Series are supposed to be the
yeah,
ladder.
They're lower levels. So why are you allowing the Cup Series drivers to go down to those lower level events? You shouldn't be. Plain and simple.
Exactly. It's like allowing Lewis Hamilton to go down and race in Formula 2, or letting Jacob deGrom pitch in the minors.
Yeah, I mean, this is a problem that NASCAR has, because
It's just making competition less equal.
Yeah, it makes it less equal at the lower levels, but
because
it also
the Cup guys
makes it
are so much more developed and are overall able to show more talent.
But here's the thing. My problem with it, beyond that, is the fact that by allowing them to go down there and race, most of the time these races are on the same weekend, which means they're racing the track, especially this year where they have less and less practice. They're racing the track and getting practice. Yes, a different vehicle, but it's still practice on the track. So they're getting an unfair advantage over everybody else who's racing in the Cup
compared to the
Series.
guys who aren't doing it.
Exactly. You know, and until
That's
NASCAR...
why we need practice back.
Yeah, until NASCAR straightens that out, it's going to be a problem.
The worst part of NASCAR's COVID policy was a lack of practice. No practice, no qualifying whatsoever.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I understand their point and their reasoning, but...
Other motorsports did practice and qualifying.
Yeah, and how many other motorsports ended up with major cases of COVID?
I believe Formula One actually got canceled because a couple of crew members tested positive.
Yeah.
Their first race back in March got canceled.
And that didn't happen to NASCAR.
In March of 2020.
Didn't happen to NASCAR. You know, and that's...
Didn't happen in IndyCar either, but they still did practice.
Yeah.
They still qualified.
I don't know. We could go on and on arguing with you about this.
Yeah, probably. But we've got other stuff to talk about. What were we talking about?
Jitsi.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, to be 100% honest with you folks, the video quality with Google Meet is much better. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, we have more than 2 pixels.
Yeah. I'm not so sure that I like the layout that there is. You know, I liked it better with Jitsi, where, you know, we were both, instead of showing the wide screen for each of us, it cut our video so that we were side by side, and the whole thing made a widescreen. You know, I don't like that so much, but, you know, it could be a setting that we just have to find. I don't know.
We might find it eventually.
Yeah, perhaps. But, you know, as you can expect with artificial intelligence, you're not seeing it so much with Ryan's screen because he keeps moving so much. But generally speaking, it's, you know, it's a Google product with using artificial intelligence. So you see that, you know, his background is pretty good. and the little face that I've got over the top of me is pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's having a little bit of a hard time as far as following my mouth movements, but my eyes and head turning, it's following pretty good.
Barely moving.
Yeah, in order to get that to happen, I really have to open my mouth. But that's probably got a lot to do with the mustache and the beard. It can't see quite so well. So, but that's all right. But whether we go back to Jitsi or not, it's a different story. It's a free product. It did quite well. It definitely met our needs very well. So
even though it gave us only 2 pixels.
Yeah.
2 total, by the way, not 2 each.
But we'll see what happens with it. If we find some kind of limitations here with Google Meet, which I thought there were, but if we find them, then Google Meet will go out the door. That was an advantage of Jitsi, was the fact that there were no restrictions, no limitations. Probably the resolution of video was a limitation that I wasn't aware of, but oh well, it's free. I mean, as I've said before,
free.
I'm not getting paid to do this. If I had 1,000 people watching, then maybe I'd do ads, but we
don't even have 10 people watching.
Well, what I've noticed with Anchor is they're not actually showing me any kind of video stats. Huh. I looked and I got an email said that your video is doing really well. So I went and looked and I'm like, well, that's funny because I don't see any. I see one listen and that's it. And I know who the one listener is. Yep. I know he's not watching video. So if my video is doing well, why am I not seeing it in my play stats?
I don't know.
And I haven't reached out to Anchor support to find out about it at all. I'm not overly concerned. I'm not looking to make a ton of money off this. This could be like the number one video podcast on Spotify, and I wouldn't know, and frankly, I'm not sure that I really care.
You wouldn't know because Anchor wouldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I would care is because
Anchor doesn't tell you crap.
If it is popular and we are getting more people watching it or viewing it, then yeah, that'd be kind of cool, and it'd give me some incentive to keep going. But at this point, I'm not going to say I'm having a hard time having incentive to keep going, but it's also kind of discouraging to constantly be sitting here wondering if anybody's actually listening.
Yep.
We don't get any interaction on our Facebook page at all.
I don't get any of my friends saying anything on Discord about it.
Yeah.
I completely stopped tweeting it because nobody even looks at the tweet.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't really have any subreddits I could post it on, so...
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, maybe...
Because every subreddit I'm in, it would be off topic if I posted it.
Yeah, we'll have to play around and see, see if maybe I can figure out what we're actually getting as far as video views. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's because I stopped putting all the animations in that I used to put in. It was a lot of work.
If I could start posting it on Instagram, but I'm not sure if you can just post links on there without a picture or a video.
Maybe. It's worth trying.
I guess. I don't know. I've never even posted on Instagram. And somehow I've got like 100-something followers.
Jeez.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what the hell I did to do that, to get that many.
I don't know. Some people just like counts. You know, I have somebody that was one of my best friends in high school that, you know, he added me on Facebook, and I was like, all right. And he never interacts with me at all. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm just a number to him. You know, he's one of those people who's got like 2,000 friends on Facebook, and you know, all I can think is, look at me, ooh.
Most of my Facebook friends don't interact with me.
Yeah, but that's because you don't go on there.
Yeah, that's probably because they forget that I'm not even on Facebook. Yeah. And a lot of them probably don't even check Facebook like I do. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's a typical thing with your generation.
We have Facebook and we don't look at it.
It's more typical that you don't even have Facebook. You know, the fact that you have it is something else. But
of the people of my generation that do have it, we don't look at it.
Yeah,
we usually don't look at it.
Yeah, most it's been found that most in your generation are going to other things like Reddit or Discord or
Snapchat mostly.
Yeah.
Judging by my friend group, it's Snapchat.
And that's the exact reason that Facebook bought Snapchat. Was because they saw that coming. That's why they bought Instagram. Because they saw that coming. And so now, sure, go ahead, leave Facebook, but we've still got your data, and we still have you hooked into our product.
Yep.
It's really pathetic and sad, but anyway.
Now I'm thinking about the whole metaverse thing.
Oh, jeez.
And it's just funny. The whole way that the whole metaverse thing's been advertised is just funny. Everything about it is just funny. Yeah,
well, it really comes down to Zuckerberg trying to be cool and not realizing that he's a dork.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. That's why it's so funny. Because he's a giant dork who's trying to be cool.
Yeah. And he's really truly kind of clueless about what's happening in his company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he proved that when he went to the the congressional hearing there, where they got tough with Facebook and told him how it was going to be, where really it was just a show, and he was just like, I don't know,
oh.
And that's what it ended up being. But so anyway, what do you say we go to one of our other topics?
Which one?
How about Kanye West?
Oh, good Lord.
Ye, as he's supposedly known.
Yeah, as he calls himself.
So he has apparently been very vocal about being anti-Semitic and all that stuff, and
oh boy,
yeah, and
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
I actually read his tweet about that.
Well, in an interview, he was sitting there and he looked at or maybe it wasn't an interview, I don't know, something like a press conference or whatever. He was looking at the reporter, who said something about it, and he said, well, I can say anything I want. I can make any anti-Semitic statement that I want, and Adidas can't drop me.
Oh, look, they did.
Yeah, and I'm doing
his original tweet, you won't believe what he said in his original tweet about that. The first thing about anti-Semitic remarks.
Okay.
He claimed that he could say anything anti-Semitic because apparently, according to him, all black people are Jewish, according to him.
What?
He claims that he's Jewish because he's black.
Really?
Yes. Dead serious.
Wow. So maybe he should go down south and start walking around through all of the Baptist churches down there. You know, because...
Maybe he should speak to someone like Jesse Jackson.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
If he's even still alive.
Yeah, I believe he is. But a lot of the Baptist churches down south are, you know, they were formed by black people in their, you know, when they were slaves. That's when it was formed, and it was just small churches because that's all they could do was a small church. They couldn't go off the property or anything like that. So, you know, they had these small churches, and they basically kind of created their own form of Christianity.
Yep.
You know, it's not Catholicism, but it is based on Christianity. So, you know, sorry, Kanye, but no.
Not even close.
Yeah. You know, and the fact that I didn't know it. I found out on the news tonight that Adidas is a German company.
Oh.
So, you're going to tell a German company that you can make any anti-Semitic statement that you want. Yeah, that didn't fly over very well.
Yeah. If you're partnered with a German company and you say something anti-Semitic, they will pretend that you do not exist.
Yeah, so
that's how ashamed Germany is of that stuff.
Yep. So
you can't even mention the word Holocaust without getting arrested there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that far, but yeah, they dropped him and in a statement said, "We do not tolerate anti-Semitic statements by anybody, under contract or not." Who knows how much it's going to end up costing them for ending the contract, unless there's some statement in there protecting them against stuff like this. But
yep.
You know, that's just stupid. I mean, in this day and age, there's no reason whatsoever to even threaten to be able to say something, you know.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just, it's horrible.
It is. It really is.
You know, and that just kind of shows that he's really not a nice human being. That's all there is to it.
He's awful.
You know, if you're gonna have an attitude like that about life and about other people, then you're not a good human being.
No.
That's truly all I have to say on that. You know, but I really couldn't believe the dumbass made that statement. I was like,
yeah,
you gotta be kidding me, dude.
I mean, this isn't new for him. He's made all sorts of questionable comments before.
Yeah, and you know, so often,
especially his one-sided feud with Pete Davidson.
I don't even know about that. I don't really follow him.
That was
just huge.
I don't either, but it just popped up on my Twitter feed randomly. It became a meme.
I don't know.
It was basically the real-life Homer Simpson versus Ned Flanders.
Don't. Oh my!
Except this version of Homer is anti-Semitic, apparently.
Apparently. Well, folks, I guess we really dragged that first topic out.
Anyway,
I'm sure you've heard the music starting up.
Oh, in that case, good night.
We'll see ya.